Well, hello everyone, it's Nina. Thanks for joining me today for a new video. I'm really excited to be sharing the projects that I've created in this video because I'm going to be using Simon Says Stamp's limited edition holiday 2023 card kit called Cocoa and Joy. Now, before I get into the projects, I do want to mention that this is a limited edition kit and only available while supplies last. So if you like the kit, you're going to want to grab it while you can. It's a really great value. But there are components of the kit that you can purchase outside of the kit, so if you do miss out on the kit itself, know that many of these products are still available outside of the kit. And I have everything linked below in the video description and over on my blog for you to check out, so you can find all of that information over there. So why don't we jump in on creating some cards? I'm going to make a variety of different projects in this video because the kit contains great elements that you can use for not just cards, but also tags, gift card holders, treat bags, you name it. So I'm going to make a variety of things today, and we're going to start first with this fun little card. I love this polar bear, he's so adorable. And this card features a really fun product that's part of the kit, and that is the Tim Holtz frames. You can use these frames on their own, they're a nice pewter color, but you can also decorate them with paints, alcohol inks, and more. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use alcohol pearls for this because I wanted that pearlized shine on the frame. So I'm going to drop color onto the frame and kind of move it around. And then I'm going to use my heat tool to not only move the color around a little bit more, get it more evenly applied, but also evaporate that alcohol. So that way everything's nice and dry. Once it's dry, I pulled in some white acrylic paint, and I'm going to use that to brush on some white paint on different sections of the frame, trying to give it a little bit of a snowy, frosty finish. I thought that would be fun and go really well with the polar bear that is from the pattern papers that are in the kit. So once I have some paint applied to my frame, I'm going to set that aside to dry. Once it was dry, then I'm going to bring in that pattern paper. So in the kit, there is some great papers from Cartabella, and I'm going to use one of the papers that includes some of these fun little imagery and sentiments. And I picked out the polar bear. I thought he would be fun to use inside of this frame. I'm going to attach the frame onto my piece of paper here using some red line tape from Simon Says Stamp, because this is a nice strong adhesive for kind of funny types of embellishments and elements. So this tape works really well for wood, metal, specialty papers, and more. So this is why I chose this particular adhesive to adhere everything together. It also is a great alternative to hot glue. Alright, so now I'm going to pull in some glossy accents. I'm just going to put little bits of this adhesive in certain sections of the frame because I want to put some of this unicorn confetti glitter on top of that adhesive. This is going to add to that frosty finish of the frame, and plus I love sparkle. You get an entire jar of this glitter in the kit. This frame is going to get put on top of a piece of white cardstock that I'm actually going to emboss with the threaded Snowflakes embossing folder that's also part of the kit. So I embossed this with some white cardstock, and that's going to add some really nice texture and bring in that snowy feel. But you could also emboss this with other things. I actually used some of the matte silver cardstock that's part of the kit, and also another one of those frames with some of the pattern paper to create another card. So very similar concept for both of these cards, but I switched up the elements a little bit to get a completely different look. So to put these cards together, I'm going to go ahead and use a sheet of Simon Says Stamp white foam to put behind my snowflake panel. It's going to give it a nice bit of stability. Oscar, as you can see, decided it was time for him to supervise because he saw I pulled out some ribbon. I'm going to incorporate ribbon onto these projects because the frames kind of reminded me of presents, and so I thought by adding a nice little bow on each of the cards, it would kind of pull that present feel together, and I really thought this was fun. So I tied on this particular card a nice big bow, and I actually wrapped this around my entire card, and then I attached the frame right on top of that ribbon, so that way the large bow sits right underneath. So this card is complete. I love that pearlized finish on the frame. It really ties all of those blues together nicely and gives the perfect frosty metallic winter shine. So the other card that I was working on with the silver background and the cute little deer, I put the deer onto my project without any ribbon behind it. I'm just going to put a small bow on the top of this frame. Because the frame is smaller on this project, I didn't want it to get overwhelmed by a really large bow, so I thought a small one would go really nicely. And I just used some Tim Holtz velvet trim that I had in my stash to tie a nice little bow across the top. For a sentiment, I pulled out a acetate sentiment strip that I foiled with gold foil when I was creating a previous project. If you want to check that video out, I have it linked in the top right corner. I always like to make extras of these, so I have a bunch on hand for things like this where I decided I needed just a simple little greeting and I could just pull it right out from my little stash of greetings. So I put that along the bottom to really tie that nice gold theme together with the frame, and I love how this one adds such a beautiful elegance to this card project. The mix of the gold and silver is really fun too. Alright, so from cards to treat bags, check out these adorable Snowman treat bags that are included in the kit. You get 2 of them, and I'm going to fill mine with some candy. I thought that would be really fun, but you could fill it with hot cocoa, marshmallows, and all sorts of other fun treats. The Snowman bags are adorable as is, but they're also fun to decorate with a little bit of extra something special. So I pulled out a stencil from the kit, and I'll explain what this stencil is in a little bit. But this stencil features some little fun icons, and I'm going to use the heart with some paste from Picket Fence Studios to apply just a cute little heart on top of the Snowman bag. This paste will dry beautifully on top of this bag, and it gives the snowman just a fun little extra touch. With that threaded snowflake embossing folder and some of the tags that are included in the kit, I'm going to emboss one of them so that I have this really nice large snowflake centered onto my tag. Then pulling out some of the beautiful silver and white twine from Simon Says Stamp that's also part of the kit, I'm going to loop that through my tag so that way I can attach this onto my snowman bag. I want to embellish the tag though just a little bit more, so there are some fun snowflake 3D stickers included in the kit, and I'm sticking one of them onto my snowflake tag, and because they're double-sided you can put glitter on top of these. So I removed the release paper on the other side of the snowflake shape and then just sprinkled some fun glitter on top of it, pressed the glitter into the snowflake, and now I have this sparkly little snowflake on top of my larger one, which is giving this a very beautiful and dimensional finish. I added a little gem sticker right in the center to complete everything, which I think looks really nice. And then I'm going to attach my tag onto the snowman by just using some double-sided tape that I could lay the twine into. And then to cover that up, I used a small piece of that twine to go ahead and make a bow, and I glued that down right on top. I used liquid glue for that, and that will dry nicely. But now I also have a fun and adorable tag that coordinates perfectly with my snowman treat bag. These are such a great way to gift something sweet and fun for somebody during the holiday season. And by adding extra special touches like the cute little heart and the tag, you can customize it to fit the recipient. Alright, switching gears back to another card. Remember I was talking about those stencils? Well, here is the entire set of those stencils. So this is actually a stencil set that you can use to make little cocoa mugs. I designed this stencil. It's really easy to use, and I'm going to show you how to do it. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the stencil that incorporates all of the mug elements together, and we're going to tape it down onto our project, and I'm going to mask off any of the areas where I don't want to get ink. And then you're just going to select an ink color that you'd like to have your mug colored in. And I'm using some red inks from Simon Says Stamp. This is guava and also cherry. I started with guava and then I added some shading with the cherry to give it a nice deep Christmas red. Once I have the body of the mug stenciled, then I'm going to remove all of my masks and I'll pick up the stencil so we can shift it to start the next part of the mug. And for mine, I'm going to just move on to the handle. So I'm going to reattach the stencil onto my project. After positioning the handle into place, I'll mask off any areas where I don't want to get any ink. And then using that same red, I'm just going to go ahead and color in the handle. So now we have the mug body and also the handle, and now we need to fill it. So there's a little oval shaped element here on the stencil, and that is the liquid for inside your mug. So you can make this coffee, tea, hot chocolate, you name it. So I'm going to position that on top of my mug and then mask off any of those areas that I don't want to get ink. And then I'll go ahead and ink blend inside of that little oval shape to make my hot cocoa. So this is going to give me now beautiful liquid inside of my mug, which looks fantastic. And then the last thing we need to do is make the back side of the mug, and that's just this nice little strip here that nestles in behind our little liquid, and then we can color that in with the same color that we used for the rest of the mug. So our mug is complete and it is super cute. See, I told you it was really easy to do. And now it's time to decorate it. So these other 3 stencils are just all elements that you can use to decorate your mug. So in this case, I'm going to show you how I used these little stars and snowflake shaped patterns to create a nice tone-on-tone pattern on top of this mug. And if you want, you can even use paste. So I put ink through first, and then I'm going to use this transparent red glitter paste from Brutus Monroe to spread through that stencil so that I'll have these nice red starry snowflakes on top of my mug, which I think looks super cute. There, of course, is whipped cream, marshmallows, and even a cinnamon stick that you could add on top. So here I took some paste from Stamperia. This is a volume paste. It's white. And I used that to apply through one of the marshmallow sections to create those cute little marshmallows that could go inside your mug. So that one needed to dry, so I had another one that I had already made off camera, and this one I created with blue colors and added a fun red heart. And as you can see, I used the whipped cream with the marshmallows too for a completely different look. So you can really customize your mugs to create a really fun assortment. I attached my mug onto some of the pattern paper that's included in the kit. I also matted it with a piece of the matte silver, and all of that is going to get stacked together on top of my A2 card. So this plaid pattern paper that I picked out from the kit is super pretty and it'll make a great contrasting backdrop to my mug. I used some Simon Says Stamp glue stick to adhere this down, which is nice because it gives you a little bit of wiggle time before you have to fully commit to the placement of the paper. And before I attach my mug panel onto my card, I did want to finish this off with a little bit of silver splatter from a Tim Holtz metallic spray. This adds a nice silvery shimmer, which will tie in nicely with the silver framing that I added behind my mug. So the last thing I needed to do was add a sentiment. I picked out a greeting from the Cocoa and Joy stamp set. I stamped it with embossing ink and then embossed it with silver embossing powder, die cut it with the coordinating die, and then I popped that up along the top left of my card. I did decide too to add a little bit of twine onto this card by tying that along the side of the card and then into a little bow, which I will slide down to the bottom left of the card. You could make so many of these fun mugs in all sorts of different colors. You can swap out what elements you add as accessories and really have fun customizing these for all sorts of card projects, tags, and more. Speaking of more, how about a gift card holder before we wrap things up? So here's the Cocoa and Joy stamp set, and I picked out the Snowman that's in the set. I actually illustrated all of the images for this stamp set. I'm going to stamp him with black ink from Simon Says Stamp, and I'm going to color this with some Copic markers. Because he's a snowman, he's pretty simple to color, so I just used some blues in really light colors to be able to add some shading, and then I picked out some fun reds for his hat, and I also used some blue for his mug. I'm going to be putting him on top of a gift card holder, and I made sure to pick out colors that would go nicely with the colors that are in the pattern papers because that's what I'm going to put behind him. There are also coordinating dies for this stamp set. Those dies are sold separately. They are not part of the kit, so if you do want to have the dies, you're going to add those to your cart as well. And I'll just use that die to cut him out. And then I'm going to also take some glossy accents and put that on top of his hat to give it a little bit of sparkle. I'll use that unicorn confetti to add that fun little bit of shine to the white areas of his hat. Here's that pattern paper I was talking about. It's a nice dark blue color, so it'll put some contrast behind our snowman. And I'm going to attach this covering most of the gift card holder. These are fun little gift card holders that are included in the kit. This one, the gift card holder just kind of slides in. It's really simple. I did add a little sparkle with some of the glitter paper that's part of the kit. I just cut a thin little strip and I'm going to stick that along the top right as it hits the opening of the gift card holder. Bringing back those little snowflake stickers, those 3D stickers are really fun. I'm going to put a whole bunch of the circles around my snowman so they look like little snowballs falling from the sky. And because, like I said, these are double-sided adhesive, you can put glitter on top of these. You can also put foil on these too, that would be fun. But I thought the glitter would go really nicely with the sparkle that I added to his hat. So I sprinkled on the glitter and then brushed off the excess, and that's going to give me these fun glittery snowballs that look like giant snowflakes coming down. And then just like that, it's done. I put a little gift card inside so I can give this to somebody for Christmas. And I think this is just a cute way to gift a little holiday cheer to someone. Well, that was quite a bit of projects. There was a lot to talk about and a lot to see inside this Cocoa and Joy limited edition holiday kit from Simon Says Stamp. I hope you enjoyed seeing all of these ideas and I hope you were inspired. Don't forget, this is a limited edition kit, so it is only available while supplies last. But if you miss out on the kit, many of the components are available outside of the kit as an individual purchase. So if you want to see everything, you can find all the links in the video description or on my blog. Thanks so much for tuning in today. I will be back soon to share more with you all. But until I see you again, I hope you have a wonderful day and thanks for watching.